Hey!
Hey!
Hello everyone.
We are live.
大家好，我哋又嚟到我哋。
Yes. How are you guys?
We're good, flat out, and full of the joy of the Lord.
我哋好忙，但係都有神嘅喜樂充滿住嘅。
Busy season, but it's a good season.
係啊，係好忙嘅季節啦，但係係好充實嘅。
You keep getting more work.
係啊，我越嚟越多嘢做啦。
忙
碌係好嘅。係咯。
希望啦。
We are good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good.
It just feels like it's a busy year.
Yeah.
係咯，就算係疫情當仍然都係咁忙冇停過啦。
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, always enjoyable on a Thursday to have a chat.
永遠都係好期待啦！呢個晚上係星期四晚我哋嘅分享。
And if you guys are watching for the first time, welcome to our relationship series.
如果你係第一次收睇我嘅關於關係嘅一個題目啦，已經講咗好耐㗎啦。
Just to introduce ourselves, my name's Kat, David.
係啊 ，David 啦。
And Richard and Janice there.
Richard, Princess Jan.
Oh, you don't have to say that.
And Prince Richard.
My prince,
we are some of the pastors at Lifehouse, and we just wanted to every Thursday have a chat about relationships.
咁我哋係呢個聖堂教會嘅牧師啦，咁我哋每個星期咧都想同大家分享啦，係一個關於呢個嘅關係方面嘅嘢啦。好多嘅問題可以講嘅，我哋已經講咗好耐。
So we've been in a relationship series, and if you look back into the YouTube, the lighting looks good, guys.
Jan's just going disco mode on us right here. What's going
on? Sorry,
on?
it was too bright. Okay, sorry.
Bit of a disco effect.
That's
cool.
That's good.
And where was I? Forgot. Yes, the relationship. Because relationship is a very important part of our life.
關係好明顯啦，係我哋生命當中一樣好緊要嘅嘢嚟㗎。
And you would have seen, and if you're first time, you can look back into what we've done before in the previous weeks, which was all the way kind of from, being friends, being single, and then all the way up to being married.
咁如果你有追開呢不嬲咧，就由呢個嘅未拍拖啦，
好多次。
一個嘅結咗婚之後，呢啲題目已經係 cover 晒㗎啦。
When did we start this? When was that?
This is, I think, 8 weeks ago. Oh, you mean marriage or just the talk?
No. When did we start talking about relationships?
5月啊，5
I
月
think it was in May. We started in the studio, in the storeroom.
Yeah. When someone dropped the stick. Anyway.
Yes, that was in the summer. Yeah. So months of relationships.
We've been talking about relationships every Thursday night, and it's all on YouTube. Go and do a YouTube binge. It's better than Netflix.
係啊，咁大家記住咧，如果要煲嘅咧，唔好煲 Netflix 喎，煲我哋呢個 YouTube channel 嘅頻道，咁大家就可以睇翻晒、追翻晒我哋以前講關係上面嘅唔同嘅 topic。
That's right.
We got 14 people watching live. Yay! Welcome everyone.
小朋友
Hi everyone.
睇緊我哋 Hi.
小朋友
犀利啊！
You're going Lifehouse Kids mode.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
Alright.
Maggie say hi 喎。
Hi
Mag.
Say hi.
Maggie.
Hello.
Good to have you.
Happy guys. Hey, if you are watching for the first time or tuned in, you've never tuned in before, just to let you know, we are in the Lifehouse app. There's a blue book study.
咁如果大家係第一次收睇咧，咁介紹下啦。咁我哋就係睇緊呢個嘅藍書啦。我哋用藍書嚟做我哋嘅呢個嘅資源嘅。
And it's really, we're not going through every point, but it's really just a reference check, like a reference if you want to have a look through that.
當然因為本書都好大嘅，咁就我哋唔會全部都會係去 cover 晒嘅。咁但係咧好多題目我哋一啲比較慣用性嘅聽到嘅嘢，我哋都會同大家分享。係啦。
But we actually if you look in our hashtag relationship goals, we are in chapter 9, happy being single.
咁我哋而家咧就去到第9課啦，呢個就係講到話係 就算單身都仍然可以有喜樂嘅呢個嘅題目咯。
I love the title because it says happy being single.
冇錯啊，我好中意呢個題目，因為講happy 呢樣嘢啊，好緊要啊 happy， 所以係幾時都可以 happy。
Yeah, because I think almost the word single has almost like a negative thing around it.
因為好容易咧，當你覺得一個人喎咁嘅時候，係咪有一個好慘嘅事咧，好孤單嘅事咧？係咪咁樣去諗咧？
That word single sometimes creates these feelings of failure, or when's my turn, those kind of feelings that come up.
係啦，咁因為好多時當單身嘅時候，你就會好多負面嘅情緒、負面嘅想法、負面嘅一啲嘅得到嘅信息或者消息，令到你咧可能會係好負面啦，同埋諗一啲冇咁鼓勵性嘅一啲嘅嘢出嚟㗎啦。
And we just want you to know first and foremost, before we go into any discussion tonight, you need to be happy to be single. Okay?
所以呢個大前提就係講到話，就算你係單身都好，你其實仍然係可以係呢個嘅係有喺喜樂當中嘅就係生活嘅。
Being single is great.
係啦，係單身嗰陣係一件絕對唔係一件。
You can have lots of sleep.
Take that, yes, exactly.
反而我想話咧，其實每個人都會有單身嘅時候，係一定會經過。
Very true.
冇人可以係 skip 到呢樣嘢嘅。
Everybody was born single. We all through that stage.
冇錯。
That's true. That's deep.
講得好深好正。
結咗婚冇經歷過，梗唔係啦，個個都係單身，由單身開始。
Sometimes it's easy to come and be like, I wish I was like you guys. You're married and you're going through that journey beautifully, but everyone starts off being single.
係啊，所以反而或者係我哋
That's very wise,
可以係當我哋嗰陣時仲係單身嘅時候，我哋嗰陣時嘅嗰個嘅諗法啊，個思維應該可以做咯。
But I mean, just going back to when we were single, and things that we've learned along the way as well, and when we talk to people along the way, we want to share tonight just a bit about that. And yeah. So I think let's start off with this verse, and it's in Philippians 4:12-13, and it says, "I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty of time, plenty of sleep, but I have learnt the secret of being content in any and every situation."
係啦，咁同大家分享就係其實一個喺聖經裏面腓立比書4章13節咧，佢度講到話我哋學識咗點樣係卑微啦，點樣係處於富裕啦，其實意思講緊係仲有可能係單身嘅時候啦，或者係唔係單身嘅時候都好啦，咁學識咗一個巧妙啦，就係無論係咩情況之下，我哋都可以知足嘅因為咧或者係缺乏都，但係我哋仍然會學識咗知足呢樣嘢咯。
Yeah, and the key here is being grateful.
係啦，咁就點樣係一個嘅有一個感恩嘅心喺當中其實係最緊要嘅。
Because we all know that being married, marriage is not the goal, right?
因為可能有啲朋友可能覺得係結婚係一個嘅人生嘅其中一個目的都好啦。
And I think to caveat that, to say, did I say something wrong?
No.
No.
No, my stomach just made some noise and it was quite loud on this end and
didn't hear it. No, I wish I did. But I think before you're on the other side of being married, I mean, when you are there and you're looking for a relationship.
咁當你可能係單身嘅時候啦，你呢度期待緊或者等緊啦一個關係會出現啊，會發生啦，係咪？
But I think one of the things, as we began with, is that the word single has a negative kind of connotation to it.
好容易你就喺走咗去一個好負面嘅一種嘅諗法啦。
Maybe just to start off and ask you guys, how long were you guys single, or just maybe we can share before
分享下啦。咁我哋究竟係
found the other half.
揾到呢個終身伴侶之前咧，咁我哋
If you're comfortable sharing.
單身咗幾耐啊？咁可以大家隨意去分享啦。
Yeah. Anyone?
Well, until we found each other, right?
Yeah, I think before you found that
進入
life
呢個
partner.
係啦
Yeah.
嗰個容
對
身。
上一個單身嘅季節啦。
Well, I was
啊，
well,
冇錯。
we were both in our early 30s.
They're not asking how old you were. They were asking you how long.
What was she asking?
How long had you been? How long had he been single?
How long were you guys single for before you found?
即係計埋拍拖
What is
喎
that? But what is that? What do you mean? Like single since the
Like-
last
Since the
relationship?
last relationship, yes.
係啦，冇錯啦。
Whatever
last
way you want to
relationship
calculate it. I think okay, being single obviously means not being single means you are either going out with someone or in a relationship of some
Right.
sort.
啊，或者解釋下單身其實就係單身啦。
Break it down for
其
you.
實真係
Okay.
你即係話仲未
Because I know
尋找
people who use that word for only marriage. Like it's either you're married or you're single.
哦
Yeah.
，OK，咁原來咧
哦
有
OK
啲人咧亦都講喎，單身
Yeah.
其實係指未結婚嘅時候。
Yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
哦，所以就走出咗頭先嗰個答案啦，明白。咁 since the last
But I-
relationship 咧，
可能因為紐西蘭
last
嘅
relationship.
Well, I think because if you look back into the relationship goals, we've been talking about all along. Before marriage, you're in a relationship, so you're either in a relationship, friends, special friends in a relationship, or then you're
都
married.
幾有
So
幫啊！但係我哋一直以嚟其實都講緊係有關係或者冇關係啦。咁成集都係講由頭到尾都係講有關係嘅關係嘅。
So,
咁所以都係呢個冇關係成出嚟單身啦。
I guess just maybe you guys can share. Again, the question is, how long were you guys not in a relationship before you found each other? Is
係啦
that，clear?
咁未揾到對象之前啦，咁你嘅未拍拖嗰陣幾耐之前啦，發生緊呢個嘅係咯，冇拍拖。
David, do you want to share?
我知道我好清楚嘅，我實計住條數嘅。
I'm very clear because I have the numbers in my head.
冇錯啦，我識阿 Cat 之前，當然我識咗 Cat 之後，咁佢就係我嘅女朋友啦，咁跟住就拍咗拖，跟住結婚啦，係咪？
So obviously before Kat, and then obviously we were in a relationship and then we got married.
係啦，咁
Right.
我哋即係之前都分享過，我哋拍拖咧都拍咗一段時間7年咁樣咧，
A
先至
long time.
係啦，咁啊一個都叫 long time 先至去結婚啦。
We were in a relationship for 7 years. Don't copy that. But anyway, 7 years. That was a long distance. Some of that was long
冇錯
distance. We've talked about that.
咁但係 before that 咧喺之前咧，咁我嘅對上嘅一個 relationship 咧，係超過5年時間嘅。
And before Kat, I was single for 5 years.
more than that 嘅 longer than that 嘅
Longer than 5 years.
5、6年嘅時間度。
Yeah. Good boy. Just kidding.
he was waiting for you, Kat.
冇
Yeah.
錯 waiting for the right one 啊嘛。
And I guess my question really is not so much about the number, okay, but so much more about that waiting period. That time when you're single, it's really important to find your identity not in the word single, but in the purpose that God has for you.
係啦，咁其實咧唔係講緊幾長或者幾耐都好啦，但係當中嘅嗰段時刻咧，其實係一個時刻，係一個好嘅時間咧，係讓神咧係點樣係更加係了解我哋自己生命當中嘅好多嘢啦。
Yeah, and therefore this whole thing about learning to be content with the purposes and the calling that God has for you.
咁亦都係
Yeah.
我哋首先第一樣嘢就係要知足啦。點解咧？就係因為你要好讓我哋知道咧，神原來就算呢啲時間裏面咧，係讓我哋要係繼續去學識好多嘅嘢啦。
I mean, this is a really interesting one, and I'm going to go down to one of these points of what you shouldn't do when you're still single.
係啦，咁講到話，譬如有啲乜嘢唔好係去做啦。如果當你單身嘅時候，
It says don't look at guys and girls as potential and non-potential, like categorizing them.
點啊？即係唔好當你單身嘅時候，唔好第一個
Number
Number 3.
three.
見到就判斷對方咧會唔會成為你嘅另一半嘅候選人啊？
Now let's be honest right now.
係啦。
Did you guys ever box people in that category? Because sometimes it's easy to, like, you look at someone like, no, yes, no, yes. like like is that natural? Is that actually bad?
咁如果你咁樣去諗一樣嘢，就會唔會係一覺得呢個人就係嗰個嘅理想對象嘅時候，會唔會咁樣就已經規限咗自己有時嘅思維咧？
All right, I'll go first. Yes, of course. Of course, did that all the time. Like I think it's really hard not to when you're searching.
係啊，我以前我覺得好自然嘅事咯，係因為當你喺度即係等待緊或者真係尋找緊嗰一位嘅時候，其實好難你唔去咧將啲人分類歸類嘅喎。係啊。
You?
Yeah.
Is that translating?
有咩嘛
？I think I was the same too。我覺得我都係好自然地就會有呢個嘅諗法咯。哦，你係你好唔符合某啲條件或者邊一個有啲機會咁樣咯，係啦。
Right. Yeah. So sometimes you box people in without thinking. It's kind of natural. Like, you fulfill my criteria and you kind of don't.
係啊，咁可能會好容易就會將佢變咗就規劃咗呢個有呢個係咩 ？Sorry，
但係都啱啊。
我以為我咪輪流 translate 一次。
What a great team we are！
哇，真係犀利。
And then Richard's gonna.
No, it's gonna stop.
No one's really listening to each other. We're just.
係我哋可能各有各自己講，唔係聽緊大家講嘢。
I'm just excited to get into bed. I'm not.
佢淨係想瞓覺啫，講笑。
But I think the whole point here is boxing people in can become a bit I guess risky in the sense that because you box people in, if they don't meet a tick in your list of boxes. Then they're actually not in your list.
咁好容易咧，因為點解咧？如果你冇呢個規限，即係入咗去你個範圍內咧，咁即係呢個人可能根本真係冇機會入到你範圍內，所以你可能會 miss out 咗啲嘢啦，miss out 咗個機會啦咁樣。
But keeping an open mind，
因為其實如果唔係咧，就其實可以更加打開啲嚟到接受更多嘅人啦，或者接受更多嘅唔同意見啦。
Yeah, I mean. And let's talk about this list because a lot of people that we know will have a list of some sort, right?
咁亦都講到翻頭先呢一個表啦，咁有好多時我哋梗有一個表喺心中咧係去量度自計住啦。
Especially girls might have a list of, the person needs to be this.
咁啊女仔啦就自然啦，點樣為之有個白馬王子嘅一個列表出嚟先得，如果唔係就入唔到嗰個十大。
And I know girls who have said to me before that, that person fulfills like 5 of my 20 list. So
以前都聽過有個朋友就話我識呢個男仔啦，咁就佢又5 over 20啦，因為佢中咗5個啫，個20個 point 裏邊。
Yeah, but the main thing really is to be open, right?
係啦，咁希望其實原意咧就係都希望咧係更加係打開個心窗，係去接受更多啦。
Yeah. 係咯。You guys have any thoughts to that?
Yeah, I just think you don't know what's best for you, and probably Jan weren't on my you didn't check all my boxes or whatever. I didn't, but I think at that time, I think I'd gone away with the whole idea of what I wanted and just realized I have no idea. Like, I think I'd had a few relationships that didn't work and realized I don't know what I'm doing. Like, God, I'll have who you think is best for me.
係啊，即係嗰陣時就係我諗即係可能 Janice 嗰陣時都唔係喺我中晒我個清單上面剔晒所有嘅嘢啦。咁因為其實嗰一刻，我認為冇清單即係應該要擺開個清單好重要，因為咁樣咧神先可以將更好嘅帶俾你，因為連我自己都唔知道點樣係為自己係最好嘅啦。之前喺一啲關係裏邊咧都唔成功啦，咁令到我都有啲亂就係究竟乜嘢先至係對我嚟講係最好咧？咁其實係神先知咯。
Yeah, I think in the natural I probably would have just thought we were just too different, like just that would never work.
其實好微妙嘅，因為喺現實嘅眼中，其實我哋大家咧都係好唔同嘅性格啊等等啦，我哋唔會覺得我哋係匹配嘅一對咯，夾到嘅一對咯。
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys when you grew up in your own respective churches.
咁
Whether
唔知
you
道
were
大
taught
家
this.
大家係咪喺成長嘅個
I
過
was
程
taught
當
the
中
opposite.
個點樣教導啊
Right.
喺教會裏面
Pray in your list.
Yeah，我喺
That's what I was
好多
taught.
時我都會
Exactly my
Terrible,
point. Yes.
terrible teaching.
係啊
有
喺
個 list 出嚟。
Yeah.
Make your dream woman and then pray for her. Or, yeah.
係啦，即係以前咧喺教會成長，第二間教會成長嘅時候咧，就係、我係被教導咧係相反啊，剛剛就係咧你要寫低晒你個清單啦，去為着你呢個理想嘅對象去禱告，為着佢嘅出現。
Yeah, that's exactly how I was taught, and I think it's really I mean, it's nice to write down the qualities you want. We're not against that, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think it's more so of don't box people in that
Yeah.
by category and expect that if they don't meet certain criteria, then
係
they're
啊，咁
out.
我哋其實係否定咧有個 list 係壞嘅，咁大家有唔同嘅一個嘅立場睇法唔緊要，但係我哋嘅想話俾大家聽咧，其實咧有陣時我哋未必需要係規限喺一個嘅列表嘅入邊嘅，咁當然因為有列表嘅時候就會將自己局限咗喺某一個範圍之內㗎啦。
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if we don't mind, I kind of want to share also about the first point, just about not seeing that season as negative.
係啦，我想咧睇翻就係第一點喎，就係佢嗰度講就係話咧唔好對單身呢件事咧有負面嘅思想。
And I think really our theology is from that Philippians 4:12 scripture that was read before, which is basically every season, there's something good in every season.
我哋相信嘅嘢係乜嘢咧？就係好似之前所講啦，《腓立比書》4章12至13節，就係神俾我哋嘅人生嘅每個季節咧，都有佢嘅好特別嘅用處。
I think that really helped me to maximize my single season.
我覺得呢個好大幫助到我，就係我單身嘅季節嘅時候咧，發揮到佢嘅最頂點。
Because I knew that once I was married, it would be, you know, for the rest of my life, and that single season would never happen again. And so I thought, I want to do everything I can to set myself up for the next season, and get the most out of this season.
係啊，咁所以咧就係我嗰陣時因為呢段經文幫咗我好多啦，就係我知道結婚係一生之久嘅事啦，一結婚咧就翻唔到轉頭去單身嘅季節裏邊，所以咧我就要好好地善用單身嘅季節咧，去為我第二日嘅關係做好最好嘅準備咯。
And I think that although I really wanted to be married, I'll be honest, I really also enjoyed my single season, and it was very fruitful, and was an adventure.
雖然我嗰時好想結婚啦，但係咧我而家回望翻咧嗰個單身嘅季節，其實係好值得，同埋我都好享受嘅，因為我真係藉着嗰個季節，我結咗好多嘅果子咯。
I think if you feel sorry for yourself, you make yourself less eligible.
我認為啦，如果你咧有啲自怨自艾嘅話咧，其實你就係令到你自己更加你降低咗你嘅吸引值啦。
I think if I felt that Jan was feeling miserable about her singleness, I feel like that would have turned me off. You know, like.
例如好似如果嗰陣時咧，即係我哋大家未拍拖嘅時候咧，如果我見到 Janice 咧係因為着單身而感到即係自怨自艾啊，好負面嘅話，其實咧我係未必會俾 Janice 吸引到咯。
The fact that you were happy was so huge. Oh, has our camera just stopped?
Yeah, stop
Oh yeah, we stopped.
Yeah, stop 咗。
But we are online. We're still here.
My MacBook is having problems.
Can still hear us though?
聽到你嘅。
Yeah, we're still on the call, but it's just the MacBook camera has just turned off.
I think it might catch up shortly, but let's just kind of maybe dwell on that point a little bit more. I think, sorry, this whole being sorry.
唔係係咪想你O唔OK啊？你哋
just
而家
keep
freeze
talking.
咗，OK。
OK 啊
Yeah, no,
，OK 啊
we're live. We're still live. Everything's
Yeah.
working. It's just the camera on my computer has broken.
係啊，因為咧我電腦上面
Yes.
嗰個鏡頭咧用唔到喎，所以但係我哋仍然可以繼續，因為我哋聽到㗎。
Yeah.
好 OK。
Yeah.
Well, Maggie said
Yeah,
I can't
that's what
hear
Maggie's
four
just
of
said.
yours.
係
That
啊，
is, yeah, my computer's
都話
playing
阿
it.
Richard 嘅側面咯，而家。
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I think this whole point about being sorry, like, feeling sorry for yourself. But let's just talk about that for a second, because
係啊，我哋可以再自己
It's
研究一
important.
下呢個，當我哋
係好
係
重要
單身嘅時候，覺得自己好可憐啊，好凄慘嘅感覺啦，
I mean,
自苦自憐。
let's maybe like taking a step back. When you were single, and it kind of goes back to my question earlier about how long we've been single. The point is, because sometimes when you've been single for a longer time, you do start to feel like a little, not sorry, but you kind of feel like, where's my turn, right?
咁
Yeah.
當你有個時間，譬如好長啦，都仲係單身嘅時候，你會發覺可能覺得自己係覺得好失望啊，或者係好沮喪嘅感覺啦。
So maybe let's just talk about how do people get there?
Yeah.
咁我哋講下究竟點樣去渡過呢個嘅
Because
關口咯。其實個關口意思係講緊唔係話一定要去到下一個 relationship， 其實真係要過咗個心境。
yeah, how do you kind of overcome that inadequacy or that feeling of feeling sorry for yourself?
係啦，
Like-
就係我哋點樣去克服呢個嘅呢個感覺啦。
Yeah. I mean, like, you guys maybe just talk about that, maybe David or...
係咯，因為我頭先都講過話，我當其時單身咗5年先認識阿 Cat 啦。
Yeah. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, still here, just having tech problems on our end. I don't think I can fix the camera, unfortunately.
嘅，
So you have to
Okay.
look at us with that.
No, I just...
你兩個幅相仲好靚仔靚女，冇問題。
Thanks,
Oops,
thanks,
it's
David.
all like zoomed.
你可以 freeze 埋我哋兩個
Yeah,
最
you can freeze
靚
us too.
係咯。
Let's be consistent, huh?
No, you just don't move that.
我哋個口唔喐咯，咁講
Okay.
嘢。係啊，頭先講緊咩？單身嘅時候
David 5
係
年啊，係啊，
啦，咁5年嘅單身裏面咧，其實我覺得我自己咧，好老實講係好享受嗰段時間。
Yeah. In the 5 years I was single before I was in a relationship with Kat, to be honest, I really did enjoy my singlehood.
係啊，咁
Yeah.
當然會有啲時間會可能覺得，哎呀幾時會拍拖啊？幾時會到我係有陣時會有咁嘅感覺，會有咁嘅想法走出嚟㗎，呢個好現
And
實嘅。
it's very, to be honest with you, there were times where I kind of asked myself, like, thought, when is it my turn? Like, that time for me.
咁當其時我就啱啱先係信咗耶穌，咁就返教會嘅差唔多係嗰陣時間。
And about that time, I
我仲記得係。
I started going to church and really learned what it meant to be in a relationship with Jesus.
係啦，咁其實咧，佢因為有呢個空間喺當中，我覺得係非常之好，因為好讓我係喺當中咧係慢慢係單身嘅時候係更加係投入去侍奉同埋認識神啦。
And during the 5-year period of being single, I used that time to serve God, to learn more about Him, and to just get to know more people in my church.
因為有陣時當你拍拖嘅時候，我唔係話一定會有異性冇人性啦嚇，咁但係好多時就會花咗咁多時間喺伴侶身上。
Because when you're in a relationship, a lot of times your focus is going to be on that other person and not necessarily on other things around you. So it's very easy to be completely head over heels and absorbed into that one special person without, looking at anything else.
所以嗰段時間其實我有3年我執到就係更加係認識神啦。
Yeah. So 3 things I really learned in that process was, one was to know God, was to develop a close relationship with Him.
第二就係真係認識自己更加多。
And the second thing is to know more about myself, discover more about my own
第三
journey.
樣嘢好緊要就係咧，學識原來咧祈禱係好緊要
And
嘅
the
一個
third
等候嘅
thing
時候啊嘛。
Yeah.
is in that
Yeah.
waiting game, praying is really important.
係啊，咁我學識咗嘅耐性就係你做一樣嘢就係祈禱啦，祈禱係好有
Yeah,
過
and
效。
I just really felt at the time having patience was
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah.
And that praying for that was really helped me during that phase.
係
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
非常好啊！Yeah，
Yeah.
我都自己我係 double David 咯，嗰個單身嗰個 season， 我係10年啊。
嗯
So Janice was times 2 of David's waiting period. So
Yeah。
before
嗯
she stepped into a relationship. Yeah.
So 回望翻咧，其實我好感恩有嗰10年嘅單身嘅季節啦。雖然未必係每一日都覺得好容易咯，係啦，因為當你越嚟越耐就嚟第一年 OK 啊，第二年都 OK 嘅，跟住慢慢去到第9年、第10年，你就會開始有一啲嘅問題走咗出嚟㗎。
The first, second years were fine, and then the longer the number kind of the longer the time went on, it sometimes questions too. I ask myself questions. I think
Yeah.
doubt will come in naturally.
係啊，咁我覺得我最重要我學識嘅就係唔好俾關係上面嗰個嘅狀況去定義咗神俾我嘅生命啊。
But the most important thing that I had learned during this time was not to let my relationship status define my purpose in life.
係啊，冇錯，講得好好，因為婚姻唔係生命嘅唯一嘅目的咯。
Because marriage isn't the only goal in life.
Yeah， 咁其實同埋好鼓勵就係神喺耶利米書29章11節嗰度，我哋成日都好出名呢段經文，就係成日話神有個美好嘅前程同盼望俾我哋啊嘛。
Yeah, Jeremiah 29:11, a very famous verse we all know. It's that God has a future of hope for us.
裏邊冇提及到你要結咗婚先會有一個 hopeful 嘅 future， 有個盼望。
And the verse doesn't say it's irrespective of your relationship status. It doesn't talk about I will give hope in the future if you're married.
That's good.
Yeah， 所以呢個好鼓勵到我，就係即係教我學咗好大一個嘅功課咧，就係喺裏邊讓神去陶造我，同埋去令我喺佢裏邊成長咯。
And so I really felt during that time that I learned to rely on God and to just develop a close relationship with Him.
同埋我學識咗就係我以前係好依賴人去俾安全感我嘅，咁我學識咗就係我要係依賴神咯，唔係人咯，係啦。
And I used to be a person who really relied on other people to validate my identity, my worthiness. But I used this time to really get my security from God.
而呢樣嘢其實係婚姻係我好感謝神去幫我去學識呢樣嘢，因為喺婚姻裏邊咧，嗰個 security from God 係好重要咯，係啊。
I really thank God for that because during that time, learning that my security came from God was so important as I stepped into marriage.
如果唔係 Richard 都如果唔係就好難會有去建立，即係一個有個好嘅根基去建立一段嘅婚姻。
So otherwise, it's really hard to build on that foundation in your marriage if you don't start off on that basis.
Yeah, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I think. I mean, honestly, like, because I wanted to be married, there was disappointment every year that it didn't happen. There was that I had to process.
係啊，咁由於我嗰陣時真係好想結婚啦，而每一年當結婚未實現到嘅時候咧，我就每一年都會有更加多嘅失望啦。
But I did process it.
但係咧，我亦都處理咗呢啲嘅失望喎。
Through journaling, through getting to God, and it wasn't some big, heavy, huge thing. But it was there. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't there.
咁如果我話冇就你啦，就係我當然就係藉着靈修筆記等等去讓神去幫我處理嘅情緒咯。但係當然我都會有我失意嘅時候。
Honestly, I just think what I believe was so important because it framed everything, like what you're saying, the future. I just believed it. I just had to believe that the future was going to be awesome.
嗰陣時咧，我覺得我係相信啲咩係好重要，因為我相信嗰一樣嘢咧就會陶造到我嘅將來，所以我就嗰一刻選擇咗咧，相信我嘅將來係美好，充滿住前程同埋盼望。
And then I just thought, well, I'm just going to keep busy, like, getting better. So that if this is a year by myself, then this is a year I'm going to get better.
咁所以我嗰陣時咧就話如果今年係單身嘅一年咧，我就選擇將呢一年咧去成為增值自己嘅一年啦，去讓自己變得更好。
And then hopefully that'll make me more eligible for the right person, and I'm not wasted a year, and I'm getting better, not worse, because I think you can kind of go either way. If you get bitter, you're either going to get bitter or you're going to get better.
咁所以希望咧就係藉着每一年令到自己變得更好咧，會令到我更加容易去揾到咧一段美好嘅關係啦。咁你可以因有兩邊路你可以揀，一條路就係你越嚟越好啦，一係咧另外一條路就係你越嚟越沮喪咧，跟住就沉落去啦。咁我揀咗前者。
And continue, and that allows you, if you believe you've got a future, you can rejoice in other people's blessing when they get in relationships, and you're not. It's not like a knife, in your gut.
係啊，即係如果你能夠咧係相信你有美好嘅將來嘅話咧，咁你就唔會咧因為身邊嘅人得到關係上嘅祝福咧，而感到好似有把刀刺咗喺個心一樣。即係每次有人結婚啊，每次有人拍拖嘅時候咧，你就唔會心如刀割啦。
And I think if you know that you're a son of God, or a daughter of God, then you know God hasn't forgotten you.
係啊，如果你係即係你相信你知道自己係神嘅兒女嘅話咧，你會明白到神佢冇遺棄過你啊。
Just that your journey was different to other people's.
只不過你人生嘅路係同其他嘅人咧係好獨特嘅，有唔同嘅地方。
Actually, everyone's journey is different.
而其實咧，每一個人咧，神俾我哋嗰個嘅人生嘅旅程咧，都係好唔同嘅。
Understanding there's going to be pros and cons with every journey. Like I think there's challenges with marrying young. I think there's challenges with marrying older. I think there's challenges with, and there's wonderful things about all of those as well.
係啊，而明白到咧，無論人生嘅路咧，大家即係點樣走咧，佢都有佢嘅好處同唔好處啦。譬如話有啲人好早結婚嘅，或者好晏先結婚嘅，其實都有各嘅好處同埋唔好處。
You just got to embrace your journey and the season that you're on in that journey.
只需要咧要去
super important.
係好重要，就係你要去擁抱咧你每一個人生嘅季節，同埋神為你預備咗嘅旅程。
Yeah, and I think then you're not needy.
咁因而咧，你就唔會成日都覺得你係好缺乏或者好需要好絕望咁樣。
Not waiting for some person to come along and complete you.
係啦，唔係等待緊咧某個人嘅出現啦，令到你個人生變得完整。
Yeah.
So be content at whatever life stage you're currently in is so important.
係啊，咁呢個就係講到話點解我哋要學識到知足啦，喺呢啲任何嘅處境當，無論係單身或者點樣嘅情況都係啦。
There is a bit of a funny flip side to that though, Kat, like that I think sometimes is not talked about. And that's being too happy being single.
OK， 咁咧再講多少少喎，就係我哋又再睇下，可能咧我哋成日話要享受單身嘅快樂嘅單身生活啊嘛，但係咧有啲嘅情況底下就係有啲嘅朋友咧，佢哋係太過享受快樂嘅單身生活啦。
I think that I have seen it where some people almost get in a bit of a selfish mode, and they don't want to pursue a relationship. Because their whole life is around them.
有啲朋友咧，可能咧佢哋係真係好享受單身嘅生活，咁可以因而變咗咧比較自我中心咗啦。咁因為佢哋覺得佢個人生應該係屬於自己嘅，唔想再分俾其他人咯。咁所以關係上面佢哋係喺一個好安於單身嘅現象。
Or maybe there was some wound from the past that has stopped them from engaging, and so they've just kind of embraced the single season, which that's fine if that is your season, but it's I think even in that season, like that, you can be moving towards something, you know.
另外有啲情況就係啦，有啲朋友可能係過往受到某啲嘅傷害咧，所以佢哋係進入咗一個嘅季節裏邊，佢哋係需要去單身啦，同埋佢哋需要去即係未準備好去下一段嘅關係，但係可能佢哋就將自己停留咗喺嗰個季節裏邊咯。
And I think sometimes I've seen like a good guy who I'm just thinking, man, make a move somewhere. You know what I mean? Like there's great girls around you, like you're in that stage of life, like in fact you might even be a bit beyond it. Like go for it. You know, like that's what I'm talking to. That specific group of people.
係啦，我啱啱講咧就係指緊咧某一啲一班嘅朋友咧，就係譬如話我之前都見到有啲嘅男士啦，哇！你咁好條件，你係隨時你係超級準備好咧去進入一段嘅關係嗰度，點解你仲唔有所行動咧？咁可能佢哋就係太安於喺佢哋嗰個狀態裏邊。
So I think we can be like content in our season, but also believing for more. Like I think that's a way to live your life.
係啦，所以咧我覺得可以我哋去睇頭先講嗰個嘅滿安於現狀嗰一樣嘢咧，就係冇錯喺我哋某啲喺人生每一個季節裏邊，我哋都係好滿足，但係我哋唔會咧係過度咁樣安於現狀而唔採取下一步嘅行動或者向前行咯。咁我哋亦都要繼續相信咧前一步嘅會係更好。
I hope that made sense.
希望我解釋得清楚啦。
Yeah, I think maybe just to caveat that, to say sometimes if you are happy being single and you feel that there's no desire to get married, that's not a bad thing.
咁如果你有個嘅諗法啦，就係個想法咧，就係你想係單身嘅，唔係想結婚嘅，咁有啲人係會有朋友係會有咁樣嘅一個思維嘅。
So if you're listening and you feel like, well, do I have to be married? Well,
咁可能你會諗到我係一定要係揾伴侶結婚咧，其實唔係㗎。
The answer is no. You don't.
其實個答案唔係㗎。
We're not trying to box everyone in. I just want to caveat that.
係啊，咁
There's lots of different groups here.
類型嘅朋友啦，咁所以唔係一定要係
the group I'm talking about will tell you they want to be married, but they're always delaying it, forever delaying it.
係補充少少就係頭先我講嗰一個情況咧，就係嗰啲嘅朋友咧，其實佢係想去結婚嘅喎，同我之前即係我遇到
Just want to focus on my career
嗰啲嘅朋友就係，但係佢哋咧雖然想結婚，但係咧佢哋就想話但我想遲啲先結婚，因為咧而家咧我話我要去拼搏我嘅事業先。
And maybe I'm more specifically just talking to guys. I don't know from the girl side. I'm talking about guys who 係
或者特別我所講嘅係指係男士們啦，即係因為我唔係好了解女士嘅想法，但係我遇到嗰啲嘅朋友俾到我嘅
It's like I'll do that later. I want to get married, but maybe someday.
男士們通常就
time's ticking by and
係啦，就想結婚嗰一紮咧，但係可能佢哋就話遲啲先啦，遲啲先啦。
If God's called you to singleness, that's a different thing.
但係如果另一方面如果係神咧係叫你有獨身，叫你去獨身嘅咧，俾你獨身嘅生命嘅話咧，咁呢個當然另話啦，嗰個係一個係啦，另外一個話題啦。
係咯。
Yeah. This is a huge topic because there are so many aspects to this.
同樣地啦，呢個係一個可以好大範圍嘅一個嘅題目嚟嘅。
So we're going to go to part 2 next week.
Yeah.
Okay. 我哋就下個星期咧就會有第二集啦。
Yeah.
Maybe we finish up here then. Especially because our camera's still frozen. I'm getting text messages. Your camera's frozen. We can't fix it.
Yeah.
係咯。
That's okay.
壞咗個鏡頭，所以停咗喺度。
Are we moving?
我哋係。
Well, Maggie said something interesting here. She just said, she said, I planned to stay single before, but God had His plan for me, obviously.
好似 Maggie 咁樣啦 ，Maggie 之前咧佢預咗咧就係佢會係單身噶啦，即係唔會結婚啦。但係神咧有個好獨特嘅計劃俾佢，佢而家已經係身為人太啦。
Yeah.
結咗婚啦。
I do actually remember Maggie sharing that with me.
係，我都
That,
仲記得阿 Maggie
Right.
講過呢樣。
and she was very contented. You
係
know,
啦，
she was very
佢當其時係好知足、好滿足喺一個嘅單身嘅
but
諗法
you
嘅。
can see that, you know, from her life, her own story, that God had different ideas.
咁但係亦都係可以隨時改變嘢嘅喎。
It's awesome.
而家一個
It's like a wonderful surprise, isn't it?
好好嘅一件事情嚟噶嘛。
Yeah, so not fighting that, but
Mm.
really just embracing every step of the way that
Yeah.
唔係話抗拒每一個嘅神俾嘅機會，而係咧調翻轉，我哋可以係隨時去接納神俾我哋任何一個嘅唔同嘅時刻同埋個季度所俾嘅
Yeah，好重要。
排法。
But you know, we can talk forever. So I think we need some sort of cut right now. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking.
係啊，
Yeah.
因為都仲喺度睇緊一個停墟度嘅 Richard。
What? What's it
Yeah, we
say?
can. Oh, just saw us frozen.
Yeah.
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 It's good that you weren't scratching your nose or anything.
Oh, it's not exactly the most flattering freeze, but I'll accept it. It could be much worse.
我都唔錯。
But it's not too bad, right?
No, no, no. It could be much
呢幅
worse.
相雖然唔係太好，但係都唔係太差，我哋都滿足嘅
係
content。
幾好，唔錯嘅。
Yeah, good freeze. But let's end there and we'll call it a night. But
好啦，今日嘅時間差唔多，就我哋可以嚟到呢度先啦。咁啊，下個星期再繼續啦。
we'll continue next week.
係啦，
Yay！
But let's pray.
係啦，
Right.
我哋以前我哋可以禱告嘅。
David, do you
Yeah.
want to
好啦
pray?，
我禱告啦，因為你見到我口喐啊嘛，其他人唔喐啊。
See, mouth moving and you guys
係啊，
are.
咁我
Yeah.
好啦，咁我祈禱啦，主耶穌多謝你俾我哋喺生命當中有唔同嘅季度嘅，無論係拍拖啊、結婚，甚至乎係 single 啊、單身啊，主啊都係由你嘅俾我當中嘅一個
係
一個嘅安排嘅時刻，主我
Yeah.
哋相信你，主我哋繼續喺無論咩日子、咩時候、咩等待嘅當中，當我哋仍然係尋求你，我哋係堅守嘅當中，係
Yeah.
去相信你，同埋係繼續係享受呢個嘅時刻，因為我哋知道神你有你嘅安排同一個機遇、偶遇同埋任何嘅一個嘅更好嘅將來嘅計劃俾我哋每一個人。
Yeah.
求你，阿門。
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. That was great.
Awesome, guys. Well, good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Part
多謝
two
大
next
家
week.
下個禮拜第二集，得享受單身。
Thanks, David and Kat. See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Guys.